Hey, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well out there. And today I want to review 1998's Deep Rising. This film was released January 30th of 1998. It got unceremoniously dumped that month. I went to see this opening weekend, Saturday night, about 7:30 showing, with a girl I was dating at the time. And we walked in. It was me and her and another couple for the whole movie, and that was it. And that pretty much tells the story of what happened to this film. We'll get into that in a little bit. This film was written and directed by Stephen Sommers. He was the man who gave us the Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser and then Mummy Returns, and then he went on to do Van Helsing. While I don't hate that film, he kind of went off the rails with that film. Way too much CGI, way over an indulgent on some of his stuff. But he wrote and directed this film, and originally this was conceived as a bigger budgeted horror sci-fi film. And they originally wanted Harrison Ford to be the lead. They wanted Harrison Ford to play John Finnegan, our main protagonist in this film. Harrison Ford turned him down. Hollywood Pictures, who produced this picture, slashed the budget to $45 million. Now, in 1996, when they made the film, $45 million was a good chunk of change. Unfortunately, for what they wanted to do with the film, it wasn't enough money. So they had to scale it back a little bit. And back then, Disney had 4 distribution arms to put movies out. Disney put out the G-rated movies, PG movies, the family films. Then they had Hollywood Pictures, which produced this film, that did more genre pictures like horror sci-fi films. And then they had Touchstone Pictures, which was the next step up to this one. It had bigger budget action pictures, like they used to do a lot of Brockheimer films like The Rock, Con Air, Crimson Tide, Enemy of the State, stuff like that. And then they had Miramax, which released independent movies and was run by the Weinstein brothers, as we all know, and gave Quentin Tarantino his career. But when Harrison Ford dropped out and the budget got slashed, Stephen Sommers brought in Treat Williams to play John Finnegan. He also brought in Famke Jensen to play Trillian. She's our jewel thief on this ship, this cruise liner. Kevin J. O'Connor, who became a Stephen Sommers staple, he went on to be in The Mummy and in Van Helsing. Plays the comedy relief in this film like he does the other films for Stephen Sommers. Anthony Held's in this film. Wesley Studi plays the main mercenary guy. And we have the great Jason Fleming and Cliff Curtis play mercenaries in this film as well. And the other notable thing about this production was Rob Bottin came in, designed the creatures, and make the practical effects. So that's cool too. Rob Bottin's a master at this stuff. He did The Thing, The Howling, RoboCop, Total Recall. He's a legend in this in the movie industry. And this movie was originally supposed to be released in May of '97. This is kind of what happened with the movie before we get into the review. Disney lost faith in the film. There was another movie called Con Air, which they had more faith in. They put that in this movie spot, and they pushed Deep Rising to January 30th in 1998, which Con Air went on to be a hit. Deep Rising became a pretty big failure for the studio. But anyway, start of this film, we're introduced, we see this big cruise liner in the middle of the southeast China Sea, South China Sea. And there's a big party going on in the main hall. There's gambling, there's a casino area, there's food, there's people drinking, dancing, there's a band, there's dancers. And the guy who owns the ship, played by Anthony Harold, makes a speech, and then we're introduced to Finnegan and his crew, and Joey. And Joey's his mechanic and his right-hand man, and his girlfriend also is part of the crew. They're salvagers, but they've been hired to take these mercenaries out to these coordinates they were given. They don't know why, they don't know what's out there, because Finnegan even says there's nothing there. I don't know where we're going, but you paid us, I'm going to take you there. It's pretty much his motto. So they cut back to the ship, and these people are still partying, and all of a sudden, the camera shows something coming up from the deep. We don't see what it is. We actually don't even see a monster for the first 52 minutes of the film. And people start getting killed, and there's mass panic. People are running and screaming, and people are getting killed. There's blood splattering everywhere. And then we cut back to our mercenaries and Finnegan. They get to the ship, and he's like, it's a damn cruise ship. What the hell do you want here? And they go on, and they can't find anybody. And there's no sign of anybody. There's a mess everywhere, but they don't know what the hell happened. And before the people on the ship got killed, Famke Jensen tried to break into the safe on the ship, and she got caught. Well, their holding cell wasn't finished yet. The ship is partially still under construction, so they put her in one of the refrigerators under siege. And she didn't even see anybody get killed. She doesn't know what happened. She just heard noises. Well, she got out, and they find her, and she doesn't know what the hell happened. And they go to the safe, they open it up, and there's the owner of the ship, the captain, and 2 other people. And they explain to him, we got to get the hell out of here because there's these creatures, and they killed everybody. And at first, the mercenaries don't really believe it, but soon enough, some of the mercenaries start getting taken by these creatures in really cool, effective ways. The movie's never scary, but it's fun as hell, and there's some really cool gore moments. a matter of fact, once the mercenaries realize what's going on, and we have our first main scene where you see all these monsters, they actually they left one of the mercs on the boat with Joey's girlfriend because they were trying to fix the hull. Or a hole in the side of the boat opened up on their way there because they hit a life raft that came off the ship, and he gets spit out by one of these creatures, and half his face is eaten off, and he's still alive, and he's screaming, and it's all practical and looks awesome. It's a great moment, and everybody starts freaking out, and as the movie goes along, our main cast, like Finnegan and Trillian and Joey, are our last survivors. There's a cool action scene with Finnegan and Trillian on a jet ski going through they're planning on blowing up the boat because the mercs brought torpedoes with them, because the whole thing was an insurance plot by the owner to sink the ship and receive the money from the insurance company, because he figured after he built the ship, the cost of running it, he was going to lose money. So this was his way to get out of it and actually make some money. So it was all because this guy's greed that they end up in this situation. And there's a really cool scene with them on a jet ski going up and down a hull trying to get away from the monsters. And finally they jump out of the ship on the jet ski, and it blows up behind them. And they end up on this little tropical island away from where they saw it from the ship. And Joey ends up washing up, and he's okay, and they think all is well, and then the movie ends with some kind of monster coming towards them. You don't see it, and then the movie ends. Is this movie a great movie? No. Is it a damn good time at the movies? Yes. This movie is a pure roller coaster ride creature feature with some gory moments, some funny lines. The acting's good. Treat Williams is fine, is terrific as Finnegan. Everybody's good across the board. For what they're given to do, and they all know not to take it seriously. They're not winking at the camera per se, but they're all having a good time. And just the guns alone, the mercs shoot thousands of rounds of bullets and never run out and never reload. That's the kind of movie we're looking at here. It's like a commando scenario. It's just a good time. The creatures are well handled, although here's a point of contention. Back in '98 when I saw it, the effects were pretty convincing for '98. Watching it today, the effects are very dated. They actually spent a year in post-production, ILM did, to try to create the creature effects. And they only had a $45 million budget. So for what they had to work with, they pulled it off back then. Now it looks dated. But it doesn't hurt your enjoyment of watching the film. Now it looks like a sci-fi movie, CGI, or an asylum movie, kind of. But CGI's coming so far that, you can't fault the film for that. I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. It's a damn good time. It's not perfect. It's cheesy. You could roll your eyes at it, but you can just sit down and have a great time with this. There's some cool gore gags. There's some cool action set pieces, and it's just fun. Stephen Sommers keeps the pace moving. You're never really bored. Once the monsters really show up and you see them for the first time, it's pretty much nonstop till the end of the movie. So yeah, if you've never seen it, I recommend checking it out, especially if you're a creature feature fan. Have you seen this film? What are your thoughts of it? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps with the YouTube algorithms. And hit the subscribe button too. Join me here. I release about 4 or 5 videos a week, depending on how much time I got. But I hope you all stay safe out there. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Thanks. Bye.